Mark, we've just heard from the chairman. What are you going to ask from him going forward, given it's been such a good start? What are you looking for from the chairman?
We're looking at, we've got support, we've had great support, we've got the players we wanted, and the squad's in good shape. So it's about us now continuing the work, looking to what we need and preparing ourselves hopefully for the next level if we achieve our targets. So it's to continue to support our communication, which has been fantastic so far, maintaining and improving that, and then looking ahead, and it's reacting to what happened. Football changes, the game changes so quickly, so to make sure we have options for whatever problem or situation may arise in the future.
How important is that relationship given he lives abroad?
It's really important. The work we do here with Andrew and Stuart have been outstanding in terms of their support for the first team, always on call to help us, and it's constant phone calls throughout the day, which is what you need to make our picture clear and our thoughts clear from the football department, and to get their feedback to us as well. So up to now the communication has been first class. If we can maintain that, we'll be in good shape.
He was very confident looking forward and very optimistic. He said if Rangers are to challenge in the Premiership next season, the squad might need another 5 additions. Do you agree with that?
I think we need to look at the squad, and we have a lean squad which has been well documented, and it's about players proving themselves to deal with the challenge of the higher level. We've got a number of players who I've got no doubt will more than compete at the higher level, no doubt about that. But any squad will go through the January, but more into the summer period, will need to add 3, 4, 5 quality additions. But they have to be adding quality. It's not more of the same, it's adding quality. If we take a player, he has to give us something that we don't currently have.
In some respects, then, is that good to hear the chairman saying that you might need 5 additions, because when you go to ask him for help, then he's aware of that?
Absolutely. I mean, as I say, the communication dialogue has been really good, and we'll make our thoughts, very, very clear what we think we need to have at the next level. First, we have to achieve our targets. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have to achieve our targets. We're only, a few games into a long season, so there's a long way to go yet. Right now, we're in good shape. As I say, there's a long way to go, but we have to always think ahead and prepare accordingly.
Has the start of the season speeded up that process in the sense that you maybe can afford to look a little bit ahead and assess where you might be in comparison to the teams at the top of the Premiership?
We have to have confidence in our ability and self-belief in our ability here, and that's been well documented. Again, every time we've had the press conference, we've always spoken about our belief in the quality of this squad of players. They're hungry, they're well mentored by the senior pros, they're young players there, and they're keen to do well, and they're keen to impress. So we've had a really good start, but it's about us maintaining that. We can never allow complacency to set in. We go backwards. We must rise to the challenge every week, must prepare accordingly every week. And if we don't, we will have problems, there's no doubt about that. So it's up to us to demand, maintain standards, and look ahead to where we need to be and how we're going to get there quicker.
On one hand, the chairman says he wants you to win the Premiership next season. You might think, oh my God. Then he says, but we'll spend whatever it takes. What's your assessment of those?
I think it's just they're very supportive comments. They're very supportive, but we're not going to go into anything in a rash manner or inappropriate manner. As always, again, from day one, we've spoken about getting value on and off the pitch. That's important. You look at some of the prices being paid for players at all levels right now, and they're far from appropriate. So it's about us hopefully doing good business, getting good value, and adding character and quality to a strong squad.
He was very clear. Him saying whatever it takes, does that not, do your eyes not light up and think, oh, I can buy whoever I want?
No, I think we've got to carry on acting in the right way. It's as simple as that. So the dialogue and the communication, the meetings we talk about, are finding out, what pond are we fishing in? Because a variety of different fishing ponds, and it's what one is right for Rangers. What are we looking for? Who are the permanent signings and what level? Who are the loans and at what level? Who are we working closely with to benefit the squad and benefit all parties? So it's just about us doing our job, and as long as we maintain open and good communication, we'll be fine. The problems arise, I think, when you don't speak for weeks, and that will never be the case here.
What sort of dialogue have you had with Dave? Obviously, him living away, not being here on a daily basis. I think when you first came in, you said you'd really been dealing with Paul Murray more than.
No, we've been dealing with Andrew and Stuart, and of course they the clear lines to the chairman. And I can't be more complimentary in terms of the support we've been given. The players we've gone for, we've got the players we wanted, and we're happy. We're delighted with the squad, and it is lean. It's our call to be lean, and players that we've removed have been. We want to keep it lean and hungry here, and want the quality to be high. So that's where we are. And it is a fine balance, there's no doubt about that. But no, there's no problem with the communication. There's no problem with the lack of dialogue. Or we're very, very clear. We get honest feedback. Honest feedback goes both ways, which is really important. But right now, if we maintain this, we'll be in good shape.
Are you comfortable with the target that has been set of challenging for the top flight as soon as next season?
I think again, you guys asked me about what's our aim in the cup, what's our aim in the league. Our aim is to win every competition we go into, and that's the same for every team. No team goes into a cup or into a league campaign not expecting or not wanting to do the very best they can do. So whatever league we're in, our job will be to be as good as we can be. That's not naive, that's not disrespectful, far from it. Our job will be to prepare a squad to challenge for as strong a campaign as possible.
From what Dave King was telling us, very clear in his ambition that is where he wants the team to be next season. That assumes that you will win the championship this season. Is that jumping the gun a little bit too much?
As I just said, let's not get complacent here or think ahead of ourselves, but we're in good shape right now and our targets are very clear. There's no masking the targets, what Rangers have to do, what we as a club and football department have to do. So there's no secret. So our job is to maintain what we started here. We've had a good start. To maintain that, keep pushing hard every single week. The moment we take our foot off the gas, the moment we do become complacent, then as I mentioned earlier, we'll have a problem. That won't happen. My job, David Weir's job and the staff here, our job is to make sure we maintain the highest possible standards.
Dave just confirmed that Alan McCoist has had his contract with the club terminated. Given what he's been through, the experience he's had as manager, has he ever been somebody that you've approached to just put their brains on how best to react to certain situations?
No, I think not at all. There's no disrespect to Ali, far from it. I never met Ali actually, and I know the magnificent career and everything he's had, so no disrespect in any way. But from my point of view, I've come in here, it's been a clean sheet, clean slate, so to speak, and not being arrogant, I've got enough experience myself to know in different walks of life. I know what I want to do here and what I want here. So I'm very comfortable with what we've done so far and the people I spoke to. Maybe it's good to speak to different people outside of the club. Sometimes you always speak to the same people within the club and you get the same answers, and it's good to listen to different opinions. So I haven't spoke to Ali, but there's no lack of respect for that.
What about this weekend, Mark? I guess the belief must be sky high in the dressing room given the start.
It is. The key for us is to make sure we recognise what we've done well to achieve the results we've achieved so far. We've got to look at what we do well. What do we need to do as a team to cause the opposition problems and hopefully get the just reward, or not the just, to get our rewards. And if we don't hit those, then we do have a problem. And I don't want to repeat myself. It's about us recognising what we do well. And if we do that well and we focus on it and we can act out there on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, then fantastic. But we have to recognise it and always drive forward.
Given how well you played last week against Wraith Rovers, is it the same again in terms of team, or will it be horses for courses again? Because I know you dropped Kenny Miller and put in Nathan Adua, who was fantastic. So is that good food for thought that you had? Yeah, I
think the key word I disagree with there is dropped, because we talk to the players. It's not about dropping. We've got a tight squad, and again this morning we trained with 16 outfield players out there, and there'll be our 16 outfield players on Saturday. So it's tight. We had a couple of injuries, but it's tight, and the squad's hungry, and they can all see the first team. So I may rotate it. We may change one or two. We may keep the same 11, but it is one game at a time for us. David Weir and I, of course, have to look at different options coming up and midweek games and how that affects the rotation of the squad. But no one's ever dropped. I don't care who I have to play out of that squad of 16, 18 players. I'm comfortable, more than comfortable, that they'll do a great job for us.
How difficult a job is it? Picking an 11 when it doesn't seem to be there's MD on your squad right now who's out of form?
No, there's not. You look at the likes of Nicky Clark. He's training well every day. Obviously, he's had a small injury at the moment, but Nicky, this season, trained exceptionally well. Desperate to play. Every time he's come and done a good job for us. You look around and you look in midfield. Is it Nicky Law? Is it Jason Holt? Is it Andy Halliday? Is it Nathan Adua? Is it Barry Mackay? Is it Kenny Miller? It's nice to have the options, and it's good. But the boys are training really hard. And the moment you get any little slackness, then you have a problem as a squad. But right now, we couldn't be in a better place.
Andy Halliday was telling us yesterday that you've been doing double sessions and video analysis. Is that something you'll be doing across the course of the season, or is it just something you're concentrating right now to get your methods across?
No, the double sessions, I didn't read the article from Andy, but I'm sure he referred to pre-season. And again, it's a structured programme. It's not a case of coming and just running for the sake of it. It's a structured programme, and it depends on when the season starts, it depends on our fixtures. If we go Saturday, as we are this week, Tuesday saw us do a hard session, and then 45 minutes technical work in the afternoons. That'll be a double session. And then the boys are off Wednesday, back in Thursday. But the loading is a key one for us, to get the loading right, to make sure that when they cross the line, they're in the best possible shape. So double sessions occasionally, depending on the fixture schedules. Analysis at least 3 times a week, maybe 4 times a week, in small blocks, 12, 15-minute blocks, to drip feed it in about us, about our opposition, about how our strengths will hopefully affect the opposition. So it's just basic stuff that I'm sure many clubs are doing. but we do it, as I say, 3 or 4 times a week, and hopefully it's a positive benefit.
And does that keep going regardless of result? The simple view might be that the more things you're doing wrong, the more video analysis you need, but it seems to be at the moment you're doing everything right.
I think if you lose 5-0, win 5-0, doesn't matter. I think the fact of the matter is, the concentration spans and the intensity, the focus you want the players to look at and learn from the analysis and talk about the analysis. So you may show 8 minutes of footage and have a half-hour debate, which is great. That's no problem. But the actual footage itself is only very short in time. But it's important to focus on key points. This is what we said we wanted to do, and we've done it well. This is what we could do better. And here's an example of us not doing it well. Here's an example of us doing it really well. Look at the impact. So you can show the players. And many players are visual learners, as a staff. So it's important we get that balance right.
You see you have a debate. Does that mean that there's other times where the players might come to you with a point of view that changes your outlook on something?
Yeah, it's got to be. You can't. They're playing the game. Coaches are on the sideline. Coaches aren't. They haven't got the final say on everything. At the end of the day, those guys are involved in the game, so you want their feedback. And I think the higher the quality of group, the more the conversation, the more debate we have. And it's important. You want to hear their viewpoint and their thoughts and why they did something. And there may be a reason. We could sit there and criticise, but there's a reason why player A did something. So the more dialogue you have, the more open the group is, I think the better the quality of the group. So that's something we'll always strive to improve upon.
Just wondering, Mark, if you thought Lee Wallace was playing well enough to get you into the Scotland team for the next couple of matches?
I would never be that forward to tell international manager like Gordon Strachan what he should or shouldn't do, but all I would do ever is, if asked or by yourselves, is to report back how I see Lee Wallace's performance, and fully justifies being captain. He's been an outstanding captain for us so far. Early days into his reign, but he's been superb, and his performances, I'm sure, speak for themselves. The quality of his play in both ends of the pitch, his desire, his leadership have been first class. So delighted for Lee, and hopefully that continue. I know that will continue.
Team news?
Team news. The players are fit. The players are fit, and we had Dean Shields come back after being injured. He's come back into it, so we're in good shape and looking forward to it.
David Templeton, I saw him wearing a knee brace there.
Yeah, he had the injury that you know about. He's missed the last 6 weeks. He's probably 2 or 3 weeks away. But the medical team are working hard with him, and he'll come back sooner rather than later. But again, we've had 1 or 2 longer terms. That was an impact injury from St Mirren, I believe. As I say, he got caught in the knee, and it's just some slight ligament damage.
Nicky Clark, you mentioned him.
He's again very close. He'll be with us next week and be available for selection hopefully next Saturday.
What's his issue? Sorry.
He had a small foot injury into the calf, so he's not far away, and he'll be back very soon.
Cammy Bell.
Cammy Bell's getting closer. Cammy Bell's not been available to us from the start, as you know, but as I'm saying about injury, I'm saying about sort of changed. Cammy's been out since the start, but he's getting much closer now. Good to see him working with us, and he'll be available for selection, I'm sure, in 2 or 3 weeks' time.
And the final one about John Eustace. Any more update on
him? John wants to be a player. John wants to be a player. He's got so much to offer. He's a very, very talented player. He's also got a wealth of knowledge and experience about the game. So John wants to prove himself as a player, get himself fit, and then we'll go from there. But in the meantime, John provided invaluable help, mentoring role to the younger players. I'm sure if you ask the likes of Jason Holt, Andy Halliday, Tom Walsh, Tav, Waggy, the impact, influence that John's having, they'll say he's been first class. So it's a delight to have John around. He's working hard to get fit. I hope very much that can be the case. And if he does, he'll have a real influence for us.
Have you got a time scale yet on when you'll be fit by?
Yes, I have.
Can you share that with us?
Absolutely not. Thanks very much. Thank you.